We on. Let's do it. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's a pleasure having you in. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer. And technically, as a spiritual healer, what I do is I pretty much help people to become in full alignment with the person that they are, right? And for you to become in full alignment with you, meaning you would have to become the master of you. And the process of self mastery entails for you to understand your emotional patterns, right? Because you can't master your emotions if you don't understand what your emotional patterns are. But most importantly, you also would have to understand your emotional blockages too. Okay, so we're gonna leave it there. Now, in addition to that, now we were also talking about your intellectual conditioning. Another way of saying this is pretty much how your mind is being controlled. Because when we talk about mind control, we're talking about your conditioning, your thinking conditioning. You know what I'm saying? Either you are under a spell, however the fuck you want to put it, meaning someone gets you to think a certain way, or even if you're doing it to yourself, or however the fuck you're doing it. So I have controlled my mind, through the cosmic. I became that superconductor, for the spirit, for energy to flow through me. But you would have to become in terms or understand how your mind is being conditioning, mind control, or, and for you to become in alignment. But most importantly, then your intellect has to come together with your emotion. And that's how you become whole. Do you see what I'm saying? That's when, at this time, you become in alignment. There's no separation between, let's just say, if you want to call it your higher self and your lower self. That's when perfect harmony happens. So that's what a healer does. Well, that's what I do. But essentially, that's what, that's the purpose behind it. So that's why, a lot of my topics, I talk about your conditioning. You know what I'm saying? But most importantly, the key behind all of this, or the underlying force here, it's spirit, meaning it's spirituality, right? So when we talk about spirit, it's like we're talking about you and I. So a lot of people, based on mind control, meaning that they've been rocking the bed. Do you see what I'm saying? I'll give you a perfect example, and I think I did talk about this in one of my old videos where I was talking about you can see the importance of having hospitals, or even to encourage people to open up hospitals. But why not us learning about us? So if you're doing this for your body, why is that other side of us is not being addressed? Or not even being that. Why is it just one-sided? So technically, you've been, like your mind's been conditioned for you to look at yourself on a physical plane, on a 3D level. So that's why you become one-sided. You know what I'm saying? You can't really see past your nose. That's how you're being rocked to sleep. But most importantly, that is also the true essence of the science of ignorance. But anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself. Now, if you're coming back, you already know. Get a plate. Shit, you already. I was serving already. You know what I'm saying? You know better, you do better, baby. By now, you already know. Let's get to it, right? In fact, I'm glad that I'm talking about that, because that's going to link. That's the foundation of the topic that I'm going to be talking about tonight. So the self mastery has to do with, you can't. I mean, Self-mastery, pretty much, it's your intellect and your emotions being in harmony, in perfect balance. At this point, you become a holy man, a perfect man. Not flawless, but perfect. Do you see what I'm saying? Once you activate certain, like your true self, right? Once that is activated, that's when you become a knowledgeable person. Understand this: when you see a knowledgeable person, it doesn't mean they know everything. Far from it. That's not it at all. But what that is they understand the way things work. So if you see, like, I'll give you a perfect example. That's why in the Matrix, once you become free, right? Now you could learn. Neo could just learn how to fly a fucking plane, helicopter, or whatever the case is. So what I'm trying to say to you is, once you become awakened, it would be easier for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what knowledgeable is. You know how things work. So therefore, you have a good grasp on anything, so you could do things a lot quicker or learn things a lot faster. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that also ties up to the reason why when we talk about spirituality, and I'll give you a perfect example, you tend to look at it as something that's very distant from you. Because part of your conditioning has always been, that mechanical aspect of you. Do you see what I'm saying? Which is, what I'm saying, you came here, now knowing yourself has nothing to do with anything. You know what I'm saying? It's straight up about going to school, get a good job, and become successful or whatever the fuck it is. Then we go, pretty much you just you're just living for food. God damn. A lot of you niggas are just living your life for food, man. And by food, I'm saying consumption of material shit. Now, understand this. What I'm saying here is the fact that you are being one-sided. I'm not saying the material is bad in itself, but it becomes an issue when you are one-sided. Meaning, and that's why it's important, and being one-sided, that is the foundation of the science of ignorance. And I had a video where I was talking about that's why the light worker has to walk both the dark side and the light side. Because out of the light comes, out of the dark comes the light. You see, think about it this way, right? And I always use, I always love to use this fucking example because that shit always blow my mind. But it's a little bit funny too. Like, I'll give you a perfect example, right? So I know this girl, right? She's a hoe. But she doesn't know she's a hoe, bro. She's fucking anything and everything. And I include girls, niggas, and bitches. She got the gifts that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, the reason I'm using this, keep in mind how gross this is, but most importantly, this is where I'm going with that. Right? Like, think about this for us men, right? If you fucking multiple females, right? You tend to know, like, you don't look yourself as a dog, but you know you're scoring out here. So how do you be a hoe and not knowing that you're a fucking hoe? You understand what I'm trying to say to you? That's why that shit always, like, blow my fucking mind away. It's like, whoa, okay. That's new. But at the end of the day, ignorance is still fucking ignorance. But I like to use this example. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you would think, that's why people who are toxic never know that they are toxic. That's why the hoe probably tell you, yeah, I fuck a lot of niggas. A lot of niggas fuck me, this and that. But I'm not a hoe, though. You like, what? You know what I'm saying? But this is not to be funny. I want you to see the bigger picture here. The bigger picture, and I went through the same thing myself. Not the whole part. Slow it down, all right, motherfuckers? But what I'm talking about here, I'm wilding. Now, but the part that I'll give you a perfect example. Like, I came from a dysfunctional family. But that dysfunctional, or that dysfunction was normal to me until, I grew myself out of that fucking bubble. Then I could talk about it. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why, if you're going to become a light worker, or such as myself, or if you're going to become conscious, you have to understand that science of fucking ignorance. But you may not understand it. If you don't understand it, you got to have both sides for you to be fully healed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you're toxic, you're not going to know that you're toxic. But when you get out of that toxic mentality, that's when you start talking about it. And that's what niggas like me are doing, coming forth now, telling you motherfuckers, hey, this is the fucking bullshit. Again, trying to give you the science of ignorance for you to see the light. Do you see what I'm saying? And pretty much, like, shit, the fucking Indians, keep that in mind, right? And I'm just making a point here. The Indians call Earth Maya, and I love that fucking expression. I mean, I love the way that they call it. Maya means illusion. Now you gotta understand this, right, guys? You gotta take it easy on this one. Because a lot of people think when we talk about illusion, we're talking about fake. And that's important for me to say, because you can easily fall into a fucking illusion if you don't understand the illusion. And that's what the illusion is. It's like, it's either you know the truth or you don't know the truth, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Or, I mean, if that's the case, you're just going through fucking different levels of fucking illusion. So, when we're talking about something fake, fake automatically is telling you there's an original. So meaning you are insinuating there's two things, and that one thing is not the original thing. That's not what illusion is. That's what fake is. Now illusion, on the other hand, it doesn't insinuate there's two things. It's simply telling you what you're looking at, what you think it is, that's not what it is. Let me say that again for you niggas, because I want you to understand this. Illusion means what you think you're looking at, the way it appears to you, that's not what it is. So therefore, that's why the truth will set you free. So now you have to understand, that's why the science of ignorance is important. You got to understand what you're looking at. That's why for you to become conscious, you have to understand the mystery of who you are. And that's why they're telling you all you got to do is know who you are. Come on now, niggas. I'm going to, nigga, let's listen, you know what I'm saying? Let's turn off for a second here, because I want you to grasp this. I let it marinate. me let that marinate. 'Cause I think I went too strong on y'all. My bad. You know what I'm saying? I do that sometimes. So now, if you're making the connection here in understanding, that's why all you got to do is just know who you are. Because knowing who you are, even though we're saying that's all you got to do, but the process of getting there is to solve the mystery of this world, of who you are. Meaning being able to see through the bullshit, the illusion, through the veils, and seeing who you truly are, which is spirit. Now, when you understand that, everything you do, even on this plane, is spiritual because it comes from spirit. That's why the Kabbalions, Tahuti, all these niggas are telling you, yo, all is mental. Because when you don't know that you're spirit on this level, you get lost. That's how you have not escaped the cycle of birth and rebirth. Whereas the masters, they come down whenever they want to because they know the truth. That's why the key is not about get the fuck out of here, none of that shit. That's a fucking illusion. The true masters know, yo, this is all spirit. The life that you're living in, that's why they telling you all is mental. If the Kabbalions telling you all is mental, and if you get to understand the mystery of your mental, you're talking about spirit, bro. Or sis. You're truly talking about spirit. Everything you do is spiritual. You hear it all the time. You know, like every creation started in somebody's mind, in your thought. And now here's the crazy shit. Even now it started in your thought. Now you're thinking you're going to materialize that thought. It's all spiritual. The manifestation of it. So what you're doing is now you're bringing what was in the darkness, you're bringing that shit into light. Meaning you're bringing it into this world. Another way of saying this is that you are manifesting. So when you truly understand who you are as a spirit, everything you do is manifesting. Even if you're using two physical things to do whatever the fuck you're doing. Because it all originates from the thoughts. And the process or the action of doing that is just, it derives from the thought. So it's all spiritual. You're living in a spiritual plane right here, right now. Quantum physics came out to let you know what you're calling material is nothing but condensed energy. So in other words, they are confirming this world is an illusion. Meaning you thinking this is material. Now the science is telling you, yo, this is condensed energy. That's what the fucking illusion is. So if you're saying fuck this, you're saying fuck a fucking illusion, how fucking delusional you would have to be. That's crazy. That's crazy calling crazy crazy. Like, god damn, that's a hell of a lot of craziness going on. That's why we're saying if we're doing our manifestation and all that shit, stay positive. Even if you're looking at it appears a certain way, you know, like all this shit, this is all telling you that you are spirit. This is all reminders. It's being communicated to you in different ways, in different avenues. But if you truly understand the underlying message, it's letting you know you are spirit. Come on now. So that's why, and then when you do that, can you imagine how light my fucking heart is? It's all good, dog. Shit, nigga, I'm cruising. And that's how the truth sets you free. Now you're being free from, you know what I'm saying, the material world, in a sense of you're not grasping it, you're not looking at it as being material, but now you are embracing it, or should be embracing it. But if you're saying fuck it, or you're creating a duality, which is separation, you're talking about two poles, right and wrong, black and white. If you're thinking in those terms, you're eating from what they call the tree of good and evil, meaning spirit, material. Your body, earth, whatever the fuck else. That's a higher European perspective on what spirituality is. I've been there, I know. But you know, my people call in. You know, the angels, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, come on now, stop playing. What? You know, and that's why, as a spiritual healer, you know, I my foundation, the foundation of my teaching is African spirituality. Meaning, I mean, it's just the word African spirituality, because what it means is that a spirituality that is based on ma'at, that is based on harmony, that is based on polarity. Because when we're talking about polarity, we're talking about the coin. Fuck the sides. Tails, heads, Godhead, it's all the same. Two different sides of one coin. It's seeing the bigger picture. So the foundation, there's layers in this shit. The foundation of African spirituality is the yin and yang. It's the ma'at. But most importantly, that's how you embody, you get to see the truth. You bypass that fucking veil. That's why us African, when it comes to our shit, we just know our fucking ancestors, all the motherfucking everything else these niggas is talking about, you know what I'm saying, heaven and whatever the fuck else. Alright, nigga, you tripping. I mean, not tripping, it is what it is. Now, don't get this fucked up now. That would be a whole different conversation. You know, when we're talking about, you know what I'm saying, the world that is not Maya, meaning, you know, the world that we're living in, that's what makes it a different world. A world of illusion. But when you know who you are, that's when you become in balance. The only way for you to balance in this world of illusion is for you to be spiritual. Meaning for you to activate or to be in alignment with you. You can't be 50-50, dog. The balance over here is to be 100% spiritual. That's what the balance is. You know what I'm saying? You can't do anything halfway, baby. You can't halfway step it. You can't do it. So that's why the true balance is going to be based on you truly becoming spiritual. But this is where I'm going with this, though. I haven't even touched where I want to go with this, because this is all in fucking alignment. When we're talking about understanding the mystery of this illusion, or another way of saying that, like I said it before, understanding the science of ignorance. But it's got to go together with the light. That's why anybody who have ever grown, or, you know what I'm saying, or became mature, or whatever the fuck it is, that's why they open. They could tell you their mistakes. That's why if somebody cannot tell you what their mistakes are, That's somebody who have not changed, who have not grown. In other words, they still stuck in that ignorance. But to come out of the fucking ignorance, you gotta understand it, and most likely you will testify about it. You know what I'm saying? Shit, nigga. I'm a walking testimony, nigga. Shit, I done shit. Shit. That's what I'm telling you about the science of the fucking, of fucking ignorance here. But we're also talking about different layers of it too, because that fucking ignorance goes deep. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you have picture it this way. You could have a society, and that's exactly what it is. When we're looking at the society, right, the gangsters and all those guys, you could honestly say that those guys are lost, right? Now let's just say you went to college. Now you're saying these guys are lost, and now you're not looking at the other side of you. Now this life, right, that those guys are lost in, doing the bullshit thing, and now you somehow got a little bit better. Now you got your degree, you know what I'm saying? You getting married, you know what I'm saying? You having a family, and then you feel satisfied, and that's it. It's like it's a different layer, but it's a you're still dreaming. you still you still falling short. You see what I'm saying? The other one, I mean, they fell shorter. You know what I'm saying? You fell a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, further, but still short. You know what I'm saying? Because you have not fully concurred who you, I mean, yeah, that is concurring who the fuck you are. That's self mastery. That's why, you got to become a Patreon member. That's one. Two. Okay, shit. I had to drop that shit real quick. Now, but most importantly, you have to, and I talk about the false self, the true self, and the ego. Because the whole process of you becoming in alignment with yourself is for you to understand this different aspect of you. Your job is to know you. You came down here to know you. That's it. Know you. Now, as you do so, now then you having then now you're having a human experience. And that's why a lot of our ancestors, they understood, what I'm saying, they did it for us. But most importantly, they left their trails back. I mean, for us to know, to see, to follow the path. That's what those the sacred words are, the wisdom and all that shit. Now, with that being said, that's where we're going. God damn it, I haven't even touched what the fuck I'm here. But this is very important to say, right? Because now you can understand everything you do in this life is fucking spiritual. Because it all comes from the mental, and the science or the mystery of the mental is it's just spirit. So it's pretty much spirit you acting in this plane. You know what I'm saying? That's how we're saying this is all mental here. Then you understand, wow, you in the fucking mental institution. You got to move a certain way. That's why you can't change anybody until they change who they are. That's why you can't really teach anybody. What I'm saying here, I'm just sending power of the words. That's what I'm here to talk about. I guess the spirit just reminded me but it's all connected though. Because all of that, everything I talked about here was the foundation for you to understand. Now, if you're spirit, everything you're doing is just an expression of that spirit in you. It could be done through like written words. It could be done through your interaction. That's why if you truly see or understand everybody, nobody's lying to you. Nobody lies, bro. They think they're lying, but nobody's truly lying. If you're lying, people may not see you, but that doesn't mean you're not lying. Like, that doesn't mean, well, you are telling the truth. That's why if you truly to know, the liar is telling you he's lying. That's how I know you're a liar. You ain't no fucking lawyer, nigga. You a liar. You know what I'm saying? You can tell because you're telling yourself. So what you're calling a good liar is just somebody that other people doesn't have enough light to see that person. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all self-expression too. So now what we're doing when you have guys like Machiavelli, guys like Robert Greene, 40th Power of Law and all that shit, now they teaching you the science of understanding that. Another way of saying that is another science of ignorance too. It's another form of science of ignorance. I'm telling you, there's levels to that science of ignorance. And as a spiritual, you know what I'm saying, and for me as a spiritual healer, listen, I'm dancing out here. We're going the distance. We understand how profound the science of ignorance is. God damn, maybe I should have called this the science of ignorance. Because it turned out to be that. But it's important for you to understand it, and I want you to get it. Because without that, there's no light. That's what Robert Greene Machiavelli is teaching you. Listen, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, how to rule people, how to, you know what I'm saying, over people, that kind of shit. The 48th power of law. Was it laws of power? Whatever the fuck. Either way. So you understanding those laws will make you powerful. How do you put that together? I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know. Nigga, ain't no shame in my game, nigga. I'm fucking Haitian, so... You know what I'm saying? I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'll leave that up to y'all, but I got you the gist of it. That's what that matters, nigga. So, that's another science of ignorance, too. Because now you are neglecting yourself, and that power that you're looking for is from the outside, external power. Meaning now you are worshiping something that is not you. You are worshiping idols. And that's what we all do. We've been conditioned to think that way. That's why your degree is everything. Your status is everything. Do you see what I'm saying? You lost in the sauce, baby. And I'm like sitting on the side. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm glad though, but I was part of that too though. And let's not, okay? You know, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not coming at you, baby. You know what I'm saying? This is straight up love. This is from a nigga that been there, done that. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? And now, shit, nigga, I found my beauty. You hear me? And now I stay on that. That's all that is. That's all that is, nigga. So, and as a spiritual healer, too, I couldn't be a fucking healer. You know what I'm saying? If I'm coming at you, baby. Nah. I'm here to heal you. Oh, I know. You know, it's hurting. It's hurting. I know. I got you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let it burn. Let it burn. Let it burn, baby. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us may have some emotional blockages. You know, sometimes when you hear things that is not in alignment to what you know. I'm saying, let it burn, baby. Let it burn. I got you. That's part of healing. You ain't doing anything wrong. You are following the process. This is for the elders, man. Like, come on, man. You're doing good. Even when it may not look like it. But that's why you got to stand in your light. That's when now the 3D, you're looking at it in a different format. That's when you're turning, you know what I'm saying, trash into gold. That's when now you approaching life on a whole, on some positive shit. Not on some bitch ass shit like, you know what I'm saying? But by saying positive, I'm talking about in a positive outlook on things. Because you're going to have the negativity, baby. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to turn the other cheek. Meaning you're looking at it from a different side. But that other side, you got to become, you got to be initiated. You got to be born again. Now, a lot of people, unfortunately, they think being born again means now the body is no, fuck the body. No, that's not what it means. It means now you become the anointed one. You've been baptized. We call it laver tête. You know what I'm saying? You're washing your head. Meaning, you know what I'm saying, you're changing your consciousness. That's what that shit is. Get your blessing, baby. Come on, man. The Godfather's here, man. Let the kids come in. I'm here for them. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? How my man said, yo, Wu-Tang's for the kids, man. Wu-Tang's for the kids. Let them hear it. Please. Tell them. I'm saying? But you got to sit among the elders too, though. Anyway, I'm wilding. So, the power of words. Oh, that shit is crazy. So far, if you've been following up in everything that I'm saying, I'm telling you the mystery of you when you understand like your speech, right? It's nothing but a representation of your mental. That's why they say, and my dad taught me that shit early too. This nigga he put me on some game. Love you, King. Nigga put me on some game. So there was this thing he always used to tell us. Like, I remember, but he used to say it in French, and I'll give you the meaning of it. He used to say that la critique, le critique. Damn, that shit was dope. What he's saying is, your criticism, when you criticize somebody, right? You're critiquing someone. That critique is criticizing you. Even if you're not aware of it. So that's why people who are smart, we don't walk around putting other people down. That's how you could tell. Like when you see somebody else who's putting other people down. So they could be right, but you know there's something wrong about them. Certain things we see, it's okay, they don't know better. When you found your beauty, you're like, they don't, science of ignorance. They don't know better. Let me say that again. They don't know better. They are stuck in fucking ignorance. That's why when someone is not conscious, it has nothing to do with their fucking ego. Nothing. It's just ignorance. That's why you're not conscious. Oh man, that European spirituality is some shit. Like, what? That is some shit. But anyway. Niggas. So then when you think about, okay, so if my speech is a representation of my mentality, then what the fuck is my mentality? Can you touch it? What the fuck is that? Right? And then the other one that I didn't talk about would be your body, right? But your body is just an extension of you. Aren't you moving your body? But most importantly, if you feel a certain way, or if you're sick, it will show in your aura. You can change your or activate your fucking DNA. As you growing spiritually, your body's changing too. That's the idea behind Jesus the saint. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the hollow and all that shit. And then his body's pure. And then he's surrounded by this energy. That is just the extension of the spirit in you. So when you separate the body with you, you're eating from the tree of good and evil. You never see the kingdom of God, nigga. Because the God had transcended this. That's why we don't give a fuck about this. I come back because I want to come back. In fact, I've always came back and never got stuck in the cycle of time. Because I always knew who I was. That's why when they tell you the people who came down here, those are true masters. Because the other gods are saying, yo, you can easily get stuck down here. But us, we know better. That's what makes us better than them. And we never got stuck down here. It's just for the strong, man. You know what I'm saying? So Earth could be the most beautiful thing. It could be the worst thing. Depending on where you at with it. But the gods are not concerned with that. The true ones. Meaning, if you are able to see through the fucking illusion, then you're free. And we've been able to see through the fucking illusion. So now, we're talking about the mystery of your body. Then you know now it's simply an extension of your consciousness. And if you're healthy too, like depending on how strong-minded you are, that's just going to show in your fucking body too. You see what I'm saying? That's why a stronger mind has a stronger body. That's just the way it goes. Simply a fucking extension of who you are. Again, do you see the fucking illusion? That's what illusion is. That's why you don't separate yourself with your body. Again, the foundation of African spirituality is ma'at. Balance and harmony. They all come together. We use our body. Shit, Wyclef got this song, Divine Sorrow. We express ourselves through our song, through our dance. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like in Haitian, we have the folklore and all that shit. It's simply the spirit. We know it expresses itself in different avenues. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So now, what the fuck is words now? How do words get into, because we're using words, right? But again, the words that we're using which is speech, which is a representation of our mentality. But there's something a little more about words, though, and that's where I want to get into it. Although, yes, but words, it's like, think about it, right? I'm telling you what I'm telling you right now, right? Now, some people may look at words like, you know what I'm saying, it's just providing definition or meaning to something. So I'm using it as a way to communicate with you so you can understand what I'm saying. But a lot of people sometimes they look at it as just meanings. Do you see what I'm saying? So now think about it, and I'm gonna show you the power of words. Words goes way beyond that shit, though. Shit, we're gonna build up the power. You know what I'm saying? Let's build up on that shit, right? It's more than meanings, and I'll tell you why. Oh, sorry, goddamn. That champagne is doing its thing. Oh, excuse me. So now think about this. If that was the case, now we have a lot of philosophers, people who talks about different things, who breaking down a lot of shit. But I want you to think about this. They don't have the same power as something, let's just say the Bible. It's all words. So if we're talking about words, the meaning of words, the definition and all that shit, whereas if you were to pick up like a Plato book, there's a bunch of fucking, understanding that you'll have, whereas the Bible could be confusing a little bit. But for the most case, it's powerful. And I'm just using this for, because it could be, because you can relate to it. Or most of you can actually relate to it. But I didn't have to use the Bible. I could use the sacred fucking knowledge too. What we're talking about. That's what, our ancestors, like fucking Tahuti, you know what I'm saying? Look, those priests, they had sacred fucking knowledge. And that shit had the same power that you nowadays when you're looking at the Bible. That's why I'm using the Bible. Right? I'm just, you know what I'm saying, to show you like niggas know it's the greatest story ever told. So I'm showing you, here we go, words, and then we're looking at definitions or meanings. So I'm saying there's something greater in words here. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a power behind it. It's not necessarily the power of meaning, but it's like, it's what makes the word sacred. It's that power. What makes the Bible powerful? Fuck with me for a second, because what I'm saying, there's layers to it. Of course, you could say, yo, they pretty much push it down on us and all that shit. Yes, but that's not what I'm really talking about. Because even shit, nigga, I could refer to your Bible's powerful to me, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying this to say not just the Bible. Shit, this is powerful to me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck else. Do you see what I'm trying to say to you? But what I'm trying to say by the Bible is powerful to me, shit, nigga, there's a lot of knowledge in it. There's wisdom in that shit. But the wisdom that we're talking about, it's not necessarily in the meaning. It's kind of like you got to grow into it. That's what makes it gems. When you're dropping jewels. So the power of word resides in pretty much the intelligence. There's a power in it. I just don't know how to fucking say it. It's like, think about this. Even in fucking hip hop. That's why hip hop is powerful too. Like, think about it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So how you saying it, the how you saying it, is evoking something in it. The monks, they have mantras. That's what fucking mantras is pretty much all about. They're using that power of word, not the meaning of it, but the power behind it. I'm going in on you niggas for a second. Now that part I haven't found the word how I can. I got you though. I got you. So now we're saying pretty much not just the energy behind the word. Shit, the energy is key too. Energy is crazy too. Shit, I wasn't even thinking about that. You know, because when you truly talking about mind control too, words are being used for that. So there's a power in word. It can either enslave you, you know, or certain shit that I could say to you too can either like open your eyes or it can fuck you up. Then you'd be like, fuck this Haitian nigga. I got better things to do. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna be like, I'm an island boy, island boy. How them niggas was doing it? I can't recall. This nigga was the funniest fuck. Them island boy niggas. Who gives a fuck? But most importantly, what I'm trying to depict here is the power of words, man. Which goes beyond the meaning in a fucking word. In other words, I feel like what it truly is, and that's what makes it powerful, is that as a spirit, now you're using, and think about this too, your words, your thoughts, is just a direct manifestation of your thoughts. And I'm not even talking about speaking shit into reality. That's a whole different science in its motherfucking self. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But I want you to feel where I'm going with it, though. I just want you to kind of feel like where I'm going with it. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm going to pull back, baby. Just know you're going to get all this shit. But first, that's why, you know, the science of ignorance, but most importantly, the mystery of who you are. And I'm showing you the spirit in you too. Everything you do is fucking spiritual. So now let's get back to the words, right? A word can set you free. You know, that's how you can trigger somebody by saying a word, certain things. That's the power of words, man. You know what I'm saying? Or a nigga like me, you could get me hyped too. I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? Certain energy that I get from certain words, you know what I'm saying? Not just the meaning, but the power behind it too. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's not about, when you talk about the art of poetry, it's crazy. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it. That's how us niggas, we speak in slangs. All niggas do that shit. It's just our nature. That's why I tell people, don't try to, I mean, you want to be all educated and all of that. That is great. Listen. You know what I mean? But what you're truly saying by being educated too, and I was so disappointed. It was such a beautiful, you know what I'm saying, sister. She was, oh my God, I'm like looking at the, and then, you know what I'm saying, she opened up her mouth. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So she was pretty much she had a poem where she was talking about how a lot of people think she talks white, but her argument was that she speak proper. Okay, but it's like there's different layers to that too, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. But what she was saying is that she's educated because she speaks proper. When education has nothing to do with that. Speaking proper, you have not even mastered what you're saying that you know. Because let's talk about it. Let's break it down. What it's like to speak proper. You are simply speaking in accordance of how you're supposed to talk. So you're following the script. That's all. So in other words, you're telling people, I'm a good follower of scripts, okay? So I follow the script, and that's all it is. Now, keep in mind, I'm just speaking in layers too here. You know what I'm saying? But also, you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody were to tell you that, they're not necessarily telling you talking black means you gotta sound stupid. And there's certain things that they're saying by that too that they're mean too. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see a nigga, you're like, this nigga, alright, nigga, alright. It's like, you know what I'm saying? If you didn't know me and then I show up, you're like, this nigga's a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you good. You know what I'm saying? I get my pass everywhere, nigga. I show up with my nigga shit. Niggas here. I rang the bell and like, niggas here. You know what I'm saying? But most importantly, where I'm going with this is, you know what I'm saying, in our speech. And that's why it took me a minute to actually understand that. You know what I'm saying? Especially for me too, because I speak different languages. I understand what it's like to speak another language. It's a different personality. And if you think I'm bullshitting, if you try to learn another language, you have to learn about their culture. Meaning their culture is a different personality, dog. That's why anybody or everybody who came to the States, i.e. a nigga like me, you had to go through a culture shock. But the culture shock is that transition between the culture that you had with the culture that you're looking at. That's what the shock is. That is that transition. Then you're like, oh, that's how they do things. Then you adapt. Now you know how to speak their language. Do that sound like you niggas? But the language, not just in just the language itself, but the understanding of what the culture is. That's what makes you American. That's what the culture is about. You know what I'm saying? And then another culture, that's what makes them what they is. Or they are. I'm sorry. If I wasn't proper, you know what I'm saying? All that shit, you know what I'm saying? Then you get to see things. If you're already looking at it from that perspective, there's layers in this. Then you go beyond the little bullshit. Because a language truly is just a representation of your mentality. That's why if you're going to learn a different language, you got to learn about their culture. No way around it. I'll bet you right now, you want to learn how to speak French? Nigga, you're going to learn about fucking cheese. That's what they do. They drink wine and all that shit. And ironically, and if you want to be serious, nigga, if you're learning that shit, go along with all of it. Dress like them. Because what you're doing is you're picking up the fucking energy. You're picking up the mentality. So people may think you crazy. I don't know. Go out of your house. Bonjour. You know what I'm saying? Have your little French accent. You do whatever the fuck you want, nigga. And you're going to pick up on that shit. That's what it is. Now they're telling you for a kid, it's better, if you're young, because at this point, you have not fully developed, you're not attached to a mentality yet. Because you're still, vacillating from, what I'm saying, you haven't fully, what I'm saying, so when you come in as a kid, nigga, shit, what I'm saying, you could easily, you wouldn't even notice anything. So you're already open to it. Whereas the other one, you were closed, you have to open up to it. But anyway, I'm just showing you how this is all fucking spiritual. Now let's get back to words, because words now it represents you, but there's also it's almost like you taking something, again, you're manifesting, but we're not yet getting into the speaking shit into existence yet. But we're talking about, I'm trying to emphasize on that power, on that energy that's being transferred. It's like it came from the invisible, now to the fucking visible. That's what a fucking artist does. Like, to somebody who plays the guitar or whatever the fuck, if you play the fucking whatever, like if you're fucking, what I'm saying, a sound. When you hear a sound, that is a direct manifestation of some power. An artist, what an artist does in reality is not creating anything. He's recreating, not creating. Because he already has something in mind. He's translating that. He's recreating his art. It's all mental, nigga. Because he's translating what he already has in his fucking mind. Now he's making it visible. So that's recreating. Not creating. So the art now at this point becomes something visible. He gave life. That's why when you are activated yourself, you're giving birth. You're creating in this fucking realm. That's why at this point you are manifesting when you know who you are. That's why the niggas are telling you not to work hard. You are God. You're manifesting your life. Come on, man. I'm taking it too hard on you. I feel like I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm giving it to you just the way I'm supposed to. But I hope it's not too much. You know what I'm saying? Every time you hear about a manifestation, whatever the fuck it is, this is telling you fucking spirit. The only difference is you approaching it like from the back door, meaning you're not looking at the bigger picture. We're saying manifestation and all that, but yet we're not talking about the person creating the manifestation. That's where you lost. That's where the illusion is. You're talking about the manifestation, but you're not talking about who's creating the manifestation. What does that say about me? What does that say about you? If you can manifest your life, if all you got to do is all this shit, right? You manifest your life, you do all that kind of shit. What the fuck does that say about you? So that should become first. That's why seeking the kingdom of God, everything else will be given to you. Oh, my bad. Niggas. I'm healthy as fuck. I'm wilding because you know what I'm saying. That was some nigga shit. Nigga, you burp. Nigga, you healthy. Oh, nigga, you good. You shit, nigga, you healthy, nigga. But yeah. So that's why people are looking at, they're. That's why Wycliffe has this line that I love. You're looking at my watch, but my mind is the diamond. I love that line. How is he showing you? What you calling successful is a nigga that's been himself, did something he wanted to do, and becoming great at it and sharing it with the fucking world. You can't stop the shine, baby. You can't stop the shine. It is what it is, man. We know exactly who we are. So again, the power of words, man. It's like, now if you're looking at the way an artist, it's not just that. Let me just back it up for a minute. That's why poetry and hip hop is so deep, because when you talk about hip hop, it's fucking poetry. That's why nigga, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? All the things that these niggas be doing, I be watching, like Loaded Lux. That's my dude. You hear me? Shout out to you, King. See you, man. I gotta come to Harlem too, nigga. Well, I have been out there, but anyway. No, but I'm saying all that to say, it's like, nigga. Better yet, I'm gonna read this for you guys tonight, and this is gonna be the last. This is the Hermetica. It is supposedly written by Tahuti. Okay, so the part that I'm gonna read for you guys, it's not even. Let me show you, man. The last word of wisdom. Can you see that shit? I don't know. It's not. Anyway, let me read that shit for you. This nigga said, "Wise words, although written by my decaying hand, remain imperishable through time." Damn, man. Like, that in itself, I gotta say that shit again. Wise words, although written by my decaying hands, remain imperishable through time. So he's talking about pretty much, I mean, of course, I know you understand, but let me just, because there's layers in this, and I catch everything that he's talking about. Because he's truly making a connection between the power of the words that I was telling you about, which is that invisible thing, and then that is there. So he's talking about wise word, although written by his decaying hands, meaning this temporary hand, right? Then he's not going to use those words anymore, but he's making a connection between the infinite and the finite, the visible and the invisible. So even though this invisible hand has written those wise words, but they're gonna go further than this visible hand, or this dying hand. My words, even though it's written by this, is gonna go further than that. That's a nigga that had transcended, and he's revealing this in his fucking writtens, which is a depiction God speaking. This is Godhead. So you see what I'm saying? Oh, there's layers in this shit. And this nigga was not even done yet. Then he went by saying, imbued. Now those wise words, although written by my decaying hand, remain imperishable through times, imbued with the medicine of immortality. Those words are imbued with the fucking medicine of immortality. So he's showing you the power of his words, the wisdom behind it. But not just the wisdom, but that's what I was trying. Maybe it's the, I don't know if it's the, now we're not talking about meaning here. He's not talking about the meaning of his words, but he's talking about the wisdom imbued with the medicine of immortality. So you got to understand this. That's why the priest, we call our text sacred text. Those are sacred words. The power of words, nigga. Y'all tripping. Now, we're not even talking about the manifestation part yet. That's even higher than that. That's making the connection. That's seen through the veils. This is this nigga telling you, yo, even though I'm not here, I'm here. But he's saying he's here through his words. Then you saying it's imbued with the, what is it? Imbued with the medicine of immortality by the All Master. Meaning his connection, well, not just his connection with All Master, but he's telling you where that came from. What the wise words are imbued with is that, the source knowledge, the power of the word, that invisible that is being made visible, but yet invisible. This nigga's talking some shit. I'm talking. This is his last nigga word, and come on now. In the last words, he's gonna talk about me. So, where the fuck was I? So, imbued with the medicine of immortality by the All Masters, be unseen and undiscovered by all those who will come and go, wandering the wasteland of life, be hidden. So he's talking about that fucking his words, his wise words, written by the decaying hands, imbued with the wisdom of all the masters. Now this knowledge, this is what's going to happen to it. Be unseen and undiscovered by those who will come and go, wandering the wasteland of life. Be hidden. That's why we call this knowledge the occult. You got to look for it. It's in front of you, but you can't see it. That's why the only thing you got to do to save yourself, accept the Christ. Meaning that consciousness. I'm getting ahead of myself. But let me just close this out real quick. Be hidden until an older heaven birth human beings who are worthy of your wisdom. Let me see. Having sounded this prayer over the works of his hand, Hermes was received in the sanctuary of eternity. They're being dramatic. And that's what I love about those texts too. These niggas are dramatic as fuck. So when technically the last part that I just read, let me just read it a little bit out loud for you guys so you understand what I'm talking about. Having sounded this prayer over the works of his hand, Hermes was received in the sanctuary of eternity. So after he said that, you know what I'm saying? It's like that was his rites of passage, I guess. But these niggas, they got a certain way of painting the picture. That's the sacred language. That's the story behind it. That's what captivates you. That's the power of the words. But anyway, I get it. But what this is talking about here, niggas. Now, let me just say the whole thing one more time, niggas. Wise words, although written by my decaying hand, remain imperishable through time, imbued with the medicine of immortality by the All Master. Be unseen and undiscovered by those who will come and go, wandering the waste of life, the wastelands, of life. Be hidden until an older heaven birth being who are worthy of your wisdom. Today, motherfucker, this thing has been accomplished, nigga. Today, this shit is true. You hear me? Because that new human having birth that he was talking about is here. Or it's been here, but you know how I'm looking. We here. That's what we came here to do. You know, because he died for me, right? I mean, provided the knowledge for me, the sacrifice for me to understand this. You know, sacrifice meaning, you know, he had to go through this fucking illusion, and for him to figure out who he is, and now his work is my work. That's my salvation. That's how Jesus died for you, nigga. That's what Jesus died for you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But you can only be saved, you know. You got to open up to him. Not the bullshit this niggas are talking about. This is practical knowledge. The power of the word is how powerful the word is. Because it goes beyond. It's kind of like it's, whew. You know, that's why the true masters, like that's how I was using the philosophers fucking example. Regardless on how meaningful or how logical their works are, it will never be the same as a motherfucking Bible or the sacred text in fucking Egypt. Because we understood the true power of words. Yes, it is a representation of our mental, but it's like it's that God too, man. That other world that we're bridging, we're making the connection. That's why if I were to say something to you, you can understand it. We're bridging the gaps. So even you talking to somebody to get what they're saying, being on that same level or same frequency, this is all fucking spiritual. So understanding the science of ignorance allow you to bypass the stupidity. Just like you can only, when you find out how toxic you used to be, meaning you grew out of it. That's why people who are not being themselves, they have nothing to talk about. They have nothing to show for. They can't talk about their experiences. They still under a spell. They have not grown out of it. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why that bitch, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not a hoe. But let's just say if she were to change, and that's what you'll see. Like, you know, somebody would tell you, you know what, man, I used to be a hoe, had no self-esteem. I was just fucking with anybody, everybody, and all that shit. But now I don't do that shit anymore. I know I value myself. They understood the signs of fucking ignorance. They had conquered what they didn't understand about who they were. So that's why ignorance, it's crazy. You don't know who you are, it's out of fucking ignorance. Our people are perishing out of how the fuck shit. Yo, there's a Bible shit, that shit, yeah. I don't know how it's said, because the only thing that came in my mind is the way I used to know it. You know what I'm saying, from the French Bible. But yeah, there was a part that's telling you, yo, our people are dying or suffering out of fucking ignorance. That's what it is. I'm just breaking this shit down for you. It's all mental, baby. Then now your emotion comes in to expand that vision. And that's why your emotion plays a big part too, and which is also spiritual. You know what I'm saying? That's how, which is a different type of energy. Those energy has to work together. That emotion, that energy, the love, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that's an energy in its fucking self. And that's why it is attributed or always related to, or it's known as the feminine energy. The creativity, the intuitive in it, the all that flow, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. We're divine feminine on this side, David. But anyway, to conclude, you know what I'm saying? Because shit, almost gone. You know what I'm saying? Understanding the science of ignorance is a big thing. And every time you see a speaker, a healer, technically what we're doing is teaching you about the science of ignorance, so that you can come out of it to understand how ignorant that you are, so you can see the truth. Because you don't know how ignorant that you are, and you're saying you know the truth. And that's ignorant in its fucking self. You just don't know. And that's how the truth will set you free. But most importantly, I hope you are able to learn from the power of words, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the true power. And I think I'm going to leave it there. You already know. Aishin, brow, Malay.